Talking Music with Big Andy. In this episode, three Daft monkeys are talking music with me, Big Andy. Hello and welcome to the podcast. Today I have with me Tim Ashton, who is the lead singer with the band Three Daft Monkeys. Hiya.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm not bad, thank you very much.
Good.
And how are you?
Yeah, good. Yeah. All right, actually. Yeah, getting on.
Good. Now, there are four of you in the band, aren't there?
There's a steady band of four, and then sometimes we have guest musicians in as well, depending on what the gig is. If it's a big show, or sometimes we go out as a two-piece, sometimes we go out as a three-piece, but it's mainly a four.
There's yourself. There's your partner,
Athene Roberts.
Athene. I couldn't work out quite the name of Athene.
Yeah, Athene Roberts, who's been my partner. We've been together for 24 years coming up, as a musical and living and all the rest of it. And we've got Jamie Graham. Sorry, not Jamie Waters. That was the old bass player. Sorry, Jamie. Jamie Graham on bass and Richie Mulrine as our percussionist.
Yes. Right. Now,
sorry, Jamie.
I don't know how you describe your music. I mean, the first thing I saw when I went online and looked you all up, I've been listening to your music for a while now. And when I went onto the online to have a look up what it said about you, the first thing I found was that it said you were a world music influenced acoustic band from Cornwall. Yeah. So is that how you would describe your music?
Well, I think so, because we don't try and it's difficult. We've cut all our teeth on different musical genres. Me and Athene spent a lot of time in Europe, busking around Europe, and meeting lots of street entertainers and swapping tunes with Russian guys and Bretons and Spanish people, and we sort of learnt loads of traditional folk tunes, which I think seeps into our songwriting.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, but we try and keep it quite upbeat and dancey as well, because we want to be quite a party festival band. And Richie Mulrine as well. I've been in bands with him for years and years. We used to be in a psychedelic punk band called Moondragon way back in the day. And we used to do all the squats and everything like that. We did a touring of all the Dutch squats back in the 90s. So we've got quite a mixed bag of influences. So and we try and keep it acoustic.
Yeah,
production costs are a lot less then.
I noticed. I mean, the folk influences are very obvious.
Yeah,
can hear other things in the music depending on what the songs are and other elements within it. I must say, I've got to say straight off that I really like your stuff. I think it's great.
Oh, thank you.
I really do. You do. I mean, you have done quite a few festivals all around Europe, including Glastonbury.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you prefer doing festivals to doing any other sort of gigs, or?
We do like venue gigs, but I think our love is the festivals. Really, we do really look forward to the summer, because we always saw music ever since we did busking back in the day. We saw music as a ticket to adventure. It was more of a vocational choice of life rather than let's get really famous and make lots of money. We just thought, how do we get into festivals? How do we get to go to different countries? How do we go and see Madrid? How do we go and see? Oh, let's try and sell our music as our ticket, basically. So We do love festivals because at a festival as well, you get the opportunity to see lots and lots of other acts and lots of other music, and the vibes just amazing. And yeah, I think festivals is our first love. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love venues as well because it's completely different vibe, and different gig.
A lot of the thing with venues, I mean, if you're playing on your own, then you tend to get an audience of people who want to come and see you.
Yeah.
If you're playing with other bands, and it depends what the other bands are as to whether or not how well you go down.
Yeah, totally.
But with a festival, you get such a wide variety of people going to the festival because you get such a wide variety of bands that you quite often you're playing to people who may never have come in contact with the sort of music you played before.
Yeah, you are casting your net a little bit wider, and because of that, you sort of things happen. Because you're playing a festival, there's people there watching you, and things happen, and you meet people who say, "Oh, can you play our festival?"
Yeah.
And or can you? Do you fancy doing a wedding? Or people sort of see you and go, "Wow, I really enjoyed that show." And it sort of creates more work.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're doing a venue, people sort of really do know you already. And well, saying that, we've done quite a few supports. We did a tour with the Levelers, which was absolutely fantastic for us.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you started in 2000.
Yeah, we sort of spawned out of an old band, that Moondragon band. Actually, Richie was in. Athene joined the band Moondragon as well, and we sort of we fell out with it was two of my brothers actually with the other two members, and then stayed in Holland and did the squat scene, and we came back and we went off to Spain. So
you toured quite a lot with the Levelers.
We did in the early days, yeah. I've known the Levelers for a long time. We've played with them with Moondragon back in the 90s as well, when the Levelers were on their first meteoric rise to the stardoms that they've reached now. They were sort of we played with them in those days as well, and toured with them in Europe as well. So
you've opened for quite a mix of bands, including what we've got: Dread Zone, Show of Hands, Bellowhead, and Hawkwind.
Yeah,
that's quite a variety of
yeah. We played Hawkwind. We played Hawkwind. The gig they did in the Astoria just before they pulled it down for all the new road systems and stuff.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And we've again, we supported Hawkwind back in the day as well. So these are all contacts that I made in my early career. So, and they've sort of, they've helped us along the way, and we got on, and I went to Dave Rock's 70th birthday party actually.
Cool. I can imagine that all of these were good, but I would have the feeling that the Bellowhead one was quite a party.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, I think that was in
party folk band as well, weren't they?
Yeah. They're a great bunch of guys, and it was Southampton or Southampton, I think it was, and it was great. It was a great night. It's a great night.
Cool. At the moment, obviously, with lockdown and things, things are difficult for everyone, for all bands. You've been putting out fair few videos though.
Well, we've been doing a live cyber busk, we call them.
Yeah.
Inverted commas, every Sunday at 3:30. We've only missed a couple, and when we can't do one, we're on our 50th one next week. Actually, I'm taking the week off next week because it's my birthday, so we'll be doing our 50th one the week after. So that's been fantastic. It's really brought a crowd of people. We get a regular bunch of people watching, and then it gets shared a lot, and it gets so many views. And we've got a little suggested PayPal link if people want to donate some money to the band, which gets shared between the band. But we've been doing it in a way that me and Athene do it as a couple. We film ourselves, and then Richie and Jamie in their respective areas, because we can't all meet up all the time, they follow our Facebook link and they play along to that. So you can actually go to their feeds as well and check out what they're doing.
That's cool.
It's really quite an interesting sort of way of doing it. And
I've seen some of the ones that you and Athene have done, just the two of you.
Yeah.
But you quite often have a third person on sharing
our little boy Arlo.
Yeah. does his kind of dance,
Yeah.
art dance thing in the background, which is cool. It's really cool to watch.
Well, he used to start off doing his little hula hoop show when we did it outside, but then in the winter we've had to move inside. We've only got a small cottage down in Cornwall, so there wasn't much room for him to do anything. So he just does a little jumpy up and down dance now. But he's yeah, he's still loving it.
That's
Obviously, we have to give him a cut of the wages, mind.
That's cool. It's nice to see it being a sort of family sort of driven thing. That's you don't get that much nowadays.
Well, we've always kept it. The whole Three Daft Monkey thing has always been friends and family. You know, we've kept it as a cottage industry unit. We've sort of we did dabble with some management. We had some management for a few years, but we've left those now, and now we're back to managing ourselves again. We sort of prefer it that way because then we have more choice. We don't get, here's a tour you've got to do, and it's like, well, hang on a minute. We've all got kids and families and stuff like that. So can we just we can work, because I manage it all. We can work it around what everybody needs and try and keep our heads just above water to survive. A lot of, Richie does teaching as well. He teaches drums and percussion, and Athene does. He teaches violin and piano when we're back, and I just do all the hard work.
Yeah, so that threw me for a moment there. Let's have a look at a clip from one of their videos. What I got to say, the thing that initially drew me to you as a band was not your music.
Right.
It was the fact I was quite a while ago now. I was just trawling through things on the internet, as I have a tendency to do, looking for music, looking for new music to get into.
Yeah.
All the time. Every now and again, I just trawl through a few things and like new releases, new things that are happening and that kind of thing. And the thing that drew me to you initially was the name.
Right, yeah.
Because I just thought, now, any band that's got a name like Three Daft Monkeys has got to be worth looking at. They've got to be worth having a look at and see what they do. So where did the name come from?
Right, well, it never was going to be the band name. We were, as I say, we were in another band that split up called Moondragon, and Lordric, actually, which is the Cornish for Moondragon. Lordrike is Moondragon, which is the acoustic version of the psychedelic punk band. It was and we were booked for a festival in Madrid, and we were actually in Ireland at the time, and we had a bit of a fallout. Two of the guys got the ferry back to Holland, said that. And we went off to Madrid to do this show. Anyway, we turned up, and they said, "Oh, you were booked as Moondragon Lordric. Where's the band?" And they were sort of quibbling about the fact that we weren't the band that they'd booked. Right. And we said no. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know at the time, but the promoter who we were dealing with told the promoter of the festival that we'd had a car accident and two of the guys couldn't make it because they were in hospital. I don't know why she said this. I don't know why she said it, but she actually said it over the microphone. And so they said it over the microphone just before we went on. Sorry, you can't have Moondragon because they've been in a... but I couldn't understand the word they were saying because it was all in Spanish, you see. So
right.
loads of people really cheered and really got into it, and we thought, wow, this is a really good, people are really enjoying this three-piece. And we had a song called Three Daft Monkeys that I'd written for the old band, and we decided to just call ourselves that because we had to make a name of we had to think of a name for the rest of the tour because we were in Spain for a while. So we called ourselves Three Daft Monkeys, thinking we'd change it when we got home, but we never did, and it sort of stuck there really. And
it's
good
an interesting thing. It's to say, it kind of makes you look at it and go, well, what do they do? What is it? It's
The original song was written about a band falling out actually, and how we become these daft monkeys. The wisdom had left us, and we'd become these. We'd seen too much, said too much, and heard too much, basically. So that was the premise of the song, and then that became the name of the band, and it sort of stuck with us.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I must admit, I've watched some of your videos and that sort of thing on YouTube and other places. It's you've got a very interesting look to your videos. I mean, it fits the music really well.
Yeah,
but it kind of, I don't know, it's kind of an old-fashioned look, if you like.
Yeah.
So do you feel that you're kind of drawn back to sort of older days of performing? And
well, we do. I mean, we like the sort of the more theatrical sort of side of performance. We. I like bands that, and we all like bands that have a little bit of energy on stage and a little bit of a show. Athene was quite, and Richie were quite into their glam rock back in the day, so they quite that sort of whole theatric sort of side to it. And Athene and Rich actually, and we sort of Richie, our drummer, actually makes the videos, a lot of them.
Oh right, okay.
Because he left music to become a filmmaker. He's also done some videos for the Levelers as well. But he left to become a filmmaker, and our other cyber monkey, who shall not be named because he doesn't like to be named, but he works in the background. He also helps doing all the videos as well. But he also looks after Arlo when we're on tour because he comes with us and sort of stays in the van and stuff. So he's our tech monkey. But yeah, so that's all in house as well. So we sort of create all the ideas ourselves, and we do love a little bit of theatre and a little bit of showmanship, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, it does go with a lot of the stuff you do. I mean, a lot of the music, as you say, is quite sort of up and party, that sort of thing. So it goes with that. It adds to it.
And Athene has these bespoke dresses made, you see, by her friends. So she has these quite elaborate dresses that she wears on stage. So we've got to keep up with her, really.
Yeah. I know
I did look out of place. We try and be quite flamboyant and sort of. I mean, it's supposed to be. I think it's going back to that festival vibe, isn't it? The whole sort of festival sort of look. That whole sort of the hats and the loud clothes and the overacting.
Yeah. The thing, I mean, this podcast is all about independent bands, and some of them are bands that haven't been going that long, and I'm finding, especially at the moment, it's a bit of a struggle with the and all that kind of thing. How have you managed to keep it going so long as an independent band?
I think we have control over what we do. We finance our own CDs and stuff. We've done some crowdfunding for CDs, but merchandise CDs now isn't that. I mean, it's going to be difficult for the new bands because physical CDs really aren't that the thing that they used to be, are they? If you can get into T-shirts, if you can get people wearing your T-shirts, that's good. Merchandise is always good. Learning to live off not very much money is also a bonus.
Yeah.
And learning to just enjoy it for the adventure, But it is a tough world out there. It really is. It's really it's hard work behind the scenes. It's a lot of hard work of getting the gigs and promoting yourself. And when we do shows around the country now, we ask for street teams. So if we're doing a show in Manchester, we'll get in touch with people in Manchester, say, look, can anyone do our postering for us and our, put flyers out for us? I'll send you a bunch of stuff. You can get free tickets to the show and we'll give you a bag of merchandise. and that sort of works as well because it's a bit of a networking thing going on. And just basically, the best thing you can do though is write music that excites you.
Yeah,
If it excites you, that'll come through. You know, that's the thing.
It's a matter of getting the audience reacting to the way that you play the music. So it's
also try and get a support slot with a band that you really like. I mean, when we first did supports, we did it for no money at all, and we'd sleep in the van. You know, we'd follow the tour bus around, and they'd all go to their hotels, and we'd sleep in the van and go to the next gig. And you know, it's a tough life, but unless you want to go down the road of management and agencies and get signed up by a record label, and they throw loads of money at you and take all your. I'm not going to go any further.
But you were saying that you had management for a while, and now you've gone back to your managing yourselves.
Yeah.
So, did you not enjoy the experience?
I think it was a mutual thing. I think basically, you know, they saw us and they really enjoyed what we did, and it was a great relationship for a while. But we never got to that stage that they wanted us to get to. You know, we were doing 100 capacities rather than 1,000 capacities, and I think they just thought they were playing with the big boys, you know.
Yeah.
And we never stepped up to that next level. I mean, we, in a way, because we're quite a quirky little band and quite an acquired taste, and I think, you know, not a lot of people get us.
The question is, would you want to step up to that next level where you get major label interest and major management interest? Because I mean, the unspoken thing there is obviously the fact that major labels and major management like to have a certain amount of return for their investment.
Well, yes, and they like to have a lot of say in stuff as well, you know. And you know, they like to direct you in certain paths, and they sort of see what's relevant today, and can you be more like such and such, or can you do it a little bit more? So I mean, in a way it would have been an interesting experience, and you know, not knocking it, because we went down the promotion, we had PR men and all the rest of it as well, and it sort of, you see how much slices of the pie they all have, and if your pie is not very big, it doesn't leave you with very much.
No.
So I mean, yeah, we could have gone down that route, but we were quite happy doing what we do, because we do, as I say, we do it for an adventure. You know, if we got a festival in Italy, and we're all up for it, and it's in the summer, we go, right, let's go a week before.
Yeah.
You know, work our way down there, do some busking, go to the festival, do the festival, and see where we can go from there. So it's we're more of an organic sort of spontaneous band, really.
Another clip from another video.
This next song, we want to see a few snippets of you and your family, your animals, whatever it is, dancing to Days of the Dance. So we're going to make a compilation, stick them all together, and we'll have a little celebration of what was going on all over hopefully all over the world.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Get well singing those gardens.
Let me tell you a curious tale of a dancing plague in Strasbourg. The year was 1518. And one woman was seized by the strangest compulsion to dance. The solitary figure of Frau Trafia danced through the streets in a forgotten year, unable to stop, feet rubbed to the bone. She moved to a tune that was all her own, and she danced. How she danced.
That was all around
And they danced, and they danced with wild abandon in the ghost. Like Francis, they danced, and they danced to the sound of nothing at all. Okay.
I say, I mean, I think the thing is that most people who go into this sort of thing and want to stay an independent band, kind of do it for the love of the music and for wanting to be able to get out there and play, rather than wanting to become a rich superstar.
Yeah, no, the playing aspect is all it's about, really, isn't it? It's that feeling you get when you have got a good audience and everything's going well and everything. It's just you can't beat it. You know, it's a magical experience. You get the goosebumps. You get the, you know, it's a otherworldly sort of joy that you can have.
I think that's one of the things that a lot of musicians are missing at the moment, is that kind of, it's almost like an addiction in a way. It's that kind of that automatic, that kind of instant feedback that you get from the audience being into what you're doing.
Well, it's a symbiotic relationship, isn't it? Because you've got the band's giving it out, the audience giving it out, and the energy that's created because in that scenario is out of this world. It's just and you know, you've got a fan base that are all enjoying what you're doing, so they've got a connection, you've got a connection, everyone's connected, and it just becomes, you know.
Absolutely, it's. I don't think there's a feeling quite like it, really. It's
no.
Kind of, as you say, it's the energy, and that just it's incredible. It really
we are, you know, we are sponges as species. We do soak up energy and soak up vibes, and you know, we can off on a situation. You know, you don't need external drugs or alcohol or rest of it. If you can just get that vibe, live gig, then you're away. You know, it's just can't beat it.
So where do you want to go from here? I mean, I know once the lockdown thing is over, obviously you're going to want to get out there and start doing gigs again and festivals again, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you're in a situation where you're kind of happy with the level you're at, do you have plans for the future, or do you just see where it takes you?
We're slightly worried because of the whole Brexit thing as well, and the visa thing, because we do a lot of stuff in Europe.
Yeah.
And that's all sort of gone very, very quiet over that end of the pond at the moment. It's gone very quiet. We used to do, I mean, we were booked to play last year before all this happened. We had some nice festivals in France, and we were booked to play other shows out in Europe. Obviously, that's not happening now. So we're sort of, it's tricky. We're going to have to start thinking outside the box a little bit again, and maybe even, you know, I don't know what we're going to do, to be perfectly honest with you. It's a very unknown. I mean, we've got festivals booked that were supposed to be on last year that been moved over to this year, but they're falling by the wayside. Every week I get an email saying we can't do this one. And after June, it seems to be a little bit more optimistic. But still, we've signed no contracts.
I think the thing is that a lot of people don't still, even people in the know, still don't completely understand how this licensing thing and everything is working.
No, and it's you know, so people are just still feeling the way. So at the moment, I'm trying not to get too optimistic. I'd love to be out playing again. We're doing some socially distanced gigs. We did a few last year as well, with the six people in a bubble sort of scenario. We're doing a few of those, which are, you know, they're following the guidelines, so that, and it's very small numbers, you know, so that's going to be okay. But obviously, you know, you go to a venue, if the venue's got to be small numbers, it eats into your costs. You know, you got your diesel costs, you got your, I mean, even staying in travel lodges now, I'm thinking, oh, do I want to stay in a travel lodge? You know?
Well, the thing is, everybody's going to be putting their prices up because of the fact that they've lost so much money.
Exactly.
So they try and claw some of it back. So that's going to, you know, it's going to eat into your income even more, and it's going to put some people off. I mean, venues are okay if they're free, it's great. But if you have to pay to get into a venue, and the venues are going to have to put their money up to cover the money they've lost, people are then going to question whether or not they can afford to go to the actual.
Well, exactly. And we've always tried to keep our ticket prices low because we know, you know, we don't want to be exclusive. Some ticket prices have got ridiculous now.
Yeah.
And we try and keep them between, you know, 15 quid, something like that, 10, 15 quid, you know. That's, I mean, they've been like that for years, but still, you know, there's that sort of, like, people haven't got the money. And I'm not saying, well, you can't come to my show, you got, you know, not got enough money. It's like with a cyberbus. We made a decision. We weren't going to do these ticketed online things. We wanted to do a donation. Feel happy if you pay, you can. If you can't pay, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So venues, yeah, it's going to be tricky because we sort of set the ticket price last year around 10-15, and we don't know if we're going to get the numbers for the shows this year. And we live in Cornwall, so we travel all over the country. So
Yeah.
it is a bit of a worry. It is a bit of a worry. I am quite concerned about how it's going to fold out. But at the moment, we're sort of plodding on as if it's all going to happen, because you can't stick your head in the sand, can you? And just so we're plodding on. And last year was going to be our 20-year anniversary as well. So we had all things lined up. We had a big show lined up. We had John from the Levelers was going to come and play with us. We had a brass section, a string section. We were going to record the whole album. The fans had chosen all their favourite songs from all our 8 different studio albums. We had the whole set list all rehearsed, and it all just blew out the water. Yeah. So now I'm writing again. So hopefully we'll maybe do some creating, some writing. And
I was going to say about whether you'd actually had time to work on any new material and stuff.
It didn't come for a long time. I think we write from a place of freedom, and because we've been so locked in, a lot of my songs were a little bit angry, and I just didn't want to throw that to the general public. Really, I'll keep that for myself.
Well, interestingly, I mean, we said about the music being quite sort of up and party, but I was intrigued by one of your videos, which is I think it's dedicated to a refugee who swam across to get away from Syria.
Yeah, his family. Some of his family were killed. His brother was killed in Syria, and we heard him on. Well, it's Athene actually that listened to this Radio 4 interview, and he did this interview about how he swam with his friend, and they had a life jacket, but they put the shoes around their necks and they swam, and they got to this island in the middle of the Adrian Sea, and they got bombarded with seabirds, and they sort of went, they'd run out of energy. They had to leave the island because the birds were just attacking them, and they were just floating about. And he said to himself that if it is his time, he looked up at the sky and thought, what a beautiful, beautiful time to go. You know, the sky's full of stars and it was beautiful. But then he got picked up by a boat and he got taken to Greece, and he walked to Germany. He's now doing tours in Berlin for refugees and raising money for refugees. And he's trained to be a doctor as well.
Right.
It was just at a time it sort of struck a chord, because we were also doing quite a lot of refugee gigs, raising money to help. There's a bunch of people in Cornwall that do the Calais trip. They drive to Calais and drop loads of stuff off charity, and we've been raising quite a lot of money for those guys as well. So it was it just felt like a really interesting song to write. So I wrote it, and people really loved it. So
it is a lovely song. It's a lovely piece, but it is so different from the majority of your stuff. It really stands out as being.
There are a lot of on the actual albums themselves. I mean, we've got 8 studio albums. There's quite a lot of more poignant downbeat songs on there, but they obviously we don't do those in a live situation because people expect something from us.
Yeah.
You know, see 3 Daft Monkeys because they want to dance and they want to have a good time. But we like to put at least 2 or 3 more sort of thoughtful, sort of poignant, slow sort of tracks on the albums, just to make it a whole experience, you know.
Yeah.
So,
no, we
don't promote them as much as the bigger songs, if you see what I mean.
That song in particular it's beautiful. It really is lovely, and the video fits so well that
Well, that was we were going to do a video, but our mate had to do that in lockdown. The Cyber Monkey guy, and he was using stock imagery and all sorts of stuff just to create this vibe, you know. So because obviously we couldn't meet up and do the videos, and so this is the only
very well put together. It works really well.
Thank you. I'll pass that on to him.
Yeah.
sea is dark. The sea is big and fear throttles my heart. So I swim on, and I swim strong. I can't go back to where I come from. I see some land in the bright moonlight. My spirit's lifted, I might rest for the night. But the seabirds come, peck my sodden skin. I shall live my feathered friend, so onward I swim. So I look to the sky, and I look to the stars. There is such beauty, and it is all ours.
So, yes, more gigs hopefully after the lockdown finishes, some more festivals and all that
Yeah,
kind
we've
of
got
thing.
festivals booked up for the summer, and then we've got a tour which we were supposed to be doing last year through September, October, November, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and some Sundays, nearly every weekend throughout. Hopefully, touch wood, that the venues are going to still be open at that point, because I know a lot of them are doing crowdfunding and trying to keep themselves, at least open to pay their rents and rates and insurance and all the rest of it. So, I mean, it's like the government gave them a decrease in VAT on tickets, but no one's been able to sell tickets, have they? So it's been
Well, that's just,
that was a great handout, thank you. So yeah, they're really struggling, a lot of the venues. So hope our local one in Falmouth has been shut ever since day one, but that got bought up. Yeah, it's a long story, but that was a conglomerate of venues that are based in London that bought it, and they thought
I'm hoping that when we get back from this, people will go to more the smaller local venues more, rather than going out to the big venues to see big name bands.
Well, hopefully, but I mean, it's that whole thing, isn't it? If people feel safe to do so, because a lot of the smaller venues, getting the sort of the ventilation going, getting doors open, windows open, it's tricky for them. A lot of them are down little stairways, and it's almost in a cellar, aren't you? And sort of crammed in. So it's going to be a very, very trying time for bands, audiences, promoters, everybody really to find a place that everyone sits happy in. I think it's going to be quite a trial.
I've heard of it. There's a 2 or 3 venues in a couple of different towns where what they've done is they've kind of pooled their resources, and when they come out of lockdown, they've pulled their resources so that in the summer they can do some open air gigs. And the money goes to all of the venues.
Well, there's a similar thing in Bideford. The one we're doing out in Bideford is the Palladium Club. It's a really great grassroots venue run by a guy called Ben. He's fantastic. He loves his music, loves his local bands, loves his underground bands. But it's become part of the circuit for bands like us. And he basically last year got in touch with the local attraction, which is a family sort of farm attraction with a roller coaster. It's like one of these fun day out things. And they've got an events field. And so he's putting on events in this field with the known circles of 6 pods, people in a pod sort of thing, and it went really well. He did quite a few of them last year.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's him keeping his venue afloat, and it's also drawing people to that attraction. So people are having to think outside the box and sort of team up. In that respect, it's got really sort of it's bringing people together, isn't it? So
to be honest, I think that's the thing, is that a lot of the smaller places are more likely to do that, thinking outside of the box and trying different things to try and make things work, whereas a lot of the bigger places just kind of rely on what they've always had and what they've always known. But I think it's the the places and the people that do think outside of the box and do try something new that are going to be the ones that are going to survive best.
Yeah, that's it. It all depends on numbers in the door, though. You know, at the end of the day, if you're touring, and we do, most of our shows are on ticket splits with the. I either do an in hire, so I hire the venue for X amount, and then I get all the ticket money, or we do a ticket split with a local promoter. So it's all numbers through the door, really. That's at the end of the day. If you can't get them in,
yeah, absolutely,
tricky. It is tricky.
Yeah. Well, I wish you all the best with everything. As I say, I love the music. I think you guys are great. It's even on video or on the streaming you've done and all that sort of thing. The energy comes through, and the whole vibe comes through really well. I'd love to come and see you live sometime. That would be really cool.
Yeah, dude. Whereabouts you based then?
I'm in Essex, in Raynham in Essex. So it's a bit of a way to go, but
it's quite hard to get east for us. You know, up north, it's got there's quite a lot of motorways and things, but east is a bit of a pig. Yeah, but we do venture over that way if we can.
But yeah, it'll be good. I hope everything goes well for all of you, and the band keeps going for a lot longer. I would say to anybody watching, check out Three Daft Monkeys. I will put links to the YouTube channel and to other things, other places where you can hear the music and see the videos. It's worth checking out. If you like a good party, it's definitely worth checking out. And if you just like good music, it's worth checking out because they are very good. Thank you for joining me today.
You're most welcome. Thanks for asking me.
Oh no, it's been my pleasure. Thank you. And thank you to anybody who's joined us watching the podcast, and we will see you again. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Please don't forget to subscribe and like the videos and all that kind of thing, and check out the bands. That's really important. Thank you very much. Talking Music with Big Andy.